Bonjour and yeehaw! Welcome, everybody. We are going to be covering two of the finest teams that have made it through to this ETF2L Season 36 Preseason Map Cup, brought to you by Team Fortress TV and brought to you by nothing else because I don't think there's a sponsor here. But we've got some patrons here. Patron Saint myself, TurboTabs, reporting for duty. I also have my patron saint buddy, Beta. How you doing, Beta?
Yeah, I'm doing good. This is just for making TF2 better. That's our only goal. You don't need sponsors for that. We're just in here with the passion of TF2 trying to make it a better game with more interesting maps in it. So I can get behind that.
Very nice. And where would the Saints be without their production god himself, ArchRhythm, Adam, here controlling all the buttons, even controlling my camera tonight, being spoiled. But who are our champions? Who are our warriors of the religion of this, I guess, zealot quest to find a nice new map to play? Well, it's none other than your champions, Badlands Chugs, versus, oh boy, here we go, Dernier per more?
That didn't sound right.
I don't know. You're not French. You can't correct me. But we've got the Frenchies in tonight, and we've got some recognizable names, not only from the gameplays that we've seen yesterday, which this map cup originally started at, and also a bit of the semi-final, but we've also got some of those players that you've seen kicking about in the shape of those Frenchies as well. So it should be interesting because, I mean, Prem experience aside, they have to adapt to new maps, new grounds, and just playing more as a team in this game of Team Fortress than I ever believed before. But Beta, what do you think coming into this final?
I'm definitely looking out for Olga because Olga seems like the kind of person who's really adaptive and good at making up new strategies and coming up with counters to whatever their opponent are doing. So I have a lot of faith in Olga and his ability to just break this map somehow. You know, I'm pretty sure he's playing medic in these. I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, you are correct. But that segues nicely, though, into a good old-fashioned roster rundown. We're actually a bit, kind of spoiled for time in a way, so we can probably quickly go over the rosters. I'll let you go over the notable Frenchies, and I'll take the Badlands Chugs myself.
Sure. We have Deli on Demo Man, then we have Nevo on Scout with I think Raph is playing Scout today.
Oh, is he playing today? I thought he was playing Soldier earlier, but
well,
I mean...
Okay, so probably Alien on Scout then. They were just kind of switching PG, and I thought I saw a log where some weird classes going on yesterday.
They do change a lot, though. But...
yeah, so who knows? Then we have Glastry on Soldier. I think he's been in Prem. He's kind of been around for a long time. And then, of course, we've got Olga on Medic. He's kind of the tactical mastermind, and I'm looking forward to see what his positioning is going to be a lot on this map. If anyone's going to be weird and hold inside one of the houses or something like that to counter suicide waves, it would be Olga. But we'll see what's going to happen. But who are they up against, TurboTabs?
Well, they're going to be up against the Badlands Chugs in the shape of, hopefully I've got this right, is Auto on Medic, Little Red Riding on Demoman. I don't see Mr. Kell here tonight, so I believe HR is playing Soldier instead. Wargasm will be playing Soldier class as well. Exile and Scratch, or Scraff, or however you want to pronounce it, is going to be playing that Scout class. And this team has been impressing me. We caught a bit of them ourselves yesterday, and they had a good grip on this first map, which will be Clear Cut, King of the Hill map, Contender. Controversial one, as it's not really got too many flanks, and I don't think our boy Beta likes that, do you, Beta?
Nah, not the biggest fan here. I don't know. This is probably the map I'm least excited about. It just kind of seems pretty vanilla. There's not a lot of flanks. It just poor soldiers, man. I'm kind of like a soldier main by heart. And there's not a whole lot the soldiers seem to be able to do on this map. They can jump behind, but there's no real flanks. And it just seems a little bit limited, and it's just all about controlling that high ground, making sure the scouts don't get up there and just start shooting down on you. And then the demo man can just spam things out really easily. I'm kind of looking forward to see if there are going to be a bunch of lock and loads, because we saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
And we've seen that a lot.
Yeah, he's got it equipped right now, so I'd imagine he's still going to run it for this map. Little Red Riding, of course, we're speaking of. But I'm going to be devil's advocate. I'm going to talk on behalf of the map maker and say I like the map, actually. I think the idea of, going for this non-flank sort of ascension, but solving it by putting like this sort of jump pad-esque tower that you can like guarantee these like high, crisp jumps off is kind of an interesting thing. It's scratching a different itch we don't see too much in TF2, and you know me, I do like a bit of like well-rounded maps that scratch an itch that not everybody is really used to seeing. But going into this game, before we start going live, who do you think is just going to flat out win this map?
I would definitely favor the Frenchies. I think they just have the experience. They got I think they're all Prem players, and that's just going to be a bit too much, I think, for wonderful chuggers. You know, they've got the Burger Scouts on them. They have Burger Scout 1 and Burger Scout 2.
Oh, aptly named. Thank you, boys.
Yeah, I think Exile is Burger Scout 2 and Scratch is Burger Scout 1. But we'll probably get that mixed up. But we're actually going live here, TurboTabs, so this is the grand final. The winner of this gets the honor. I don't think there's any real prize money, but they get to show that they are the best players and they have understood the map the best. But without further ado, take us away on this first map.
Alright, welcome everybody. It's ETF2L Season 36 Preseason Map Cup, brought to you by teamfortress.tv, and it's the Badlands Chugs versus Dernier per more. And already the nice little damage laid out by Delhi to start off this mid is brought down a few people low, including both of the Burger Scouts, but the Burger Scouts get a couple of heals and just enter back into the fray of the fight. They've got the high ground, and thus they've got the advantage in the free reign to start picking away at pumping at people. The soldiers are doing a great job of focusing fire as well, and my god, are you going to eat your French words, Peter, as they've started out strong on this mid.
Yeah, Azar did a really strong bomb in there. He just landed on their crate and then just dipped into the alcove there where he couldn't be shot for a while. So not only did he do a ton of damage, got a bunch of space, he also survived for a really long time. He did eventually die, but that was all worth it. So Otto, he's going to be in full health. Olga got taken down like as he was exiting mid. There was a huge bomb onto the demo man there, and then the scout just
Delhi, big boy bomb, Kato bomb, just like they used to make it. What a crisp pipe coming out from that man. And that has turned the whole shindig around here. Even the Burger Scouts are going to have to bite off a mighty bite into this French meal if they're going to bring things back here. But good God, what a pipe.
Yeah, what a suicide wave. Now, Olga might be in a bit too deep here. It is only him and a scout. Looks like he is barely going to be safe, but he's not out of the woods yet. The scout coming in behind.
Oh, like soldier in as well. Gets right on top of that medic as well. And God, the medic lives and feeling pretty bad round about now. These jump pads is just making it life hell.
They need to not cap this before the medic spawns. There needs to be a bit careful. Yeah, you can see they don't want to give Olga like a 5-second extra spawn there. That would be absolutely disastrous. So they make sure that that doesn't happen. You know, like if your scout is 5 seconds late, that's pretty bad. But if your medic is 5 seconds late, that's a disaster. So Otto, he is regardless going to be like on a huge advantage, and they're probably going to have better heals as well. So they're just going to come in here and try and kind of bully them out with this Uber, but that is not working so far.
Yeah, they try to get a good foot forward, but keep in mind, Olga's committed to the fight. They could just Uber onto him here once they get that up, and they should have it out round about now, and they're going to do just that. They need to start hunting down this medic and start getting behind lines, but they're finding it difficult as they're going different directions for all of them. Only one soldier ends up losing his life there, but I think they were hoping to get more done with that Uber.
Yeah, HR might have been a bit too smart for his own good there. I think he was trying to flank them as they were exiting, but as a result he just didn't put any pressure on him and he was just picked off. And now the Frenchies, they're going to move forward very aggressively. Otto is kind of caught in there, but luckily the demo man was kind of out of ammo. But this soldier is going to come in onto him. The Uber has actually been popped here as well. They're going to take down a bunch of players. There's a soldier on mid, but they don't care about that. They're just trying to get down this medic, but this corridor...
The buddy blocks, he gets him. Alien weasels his way in and gets the med pick. He might even get a demo man pick at this rate as well. He will go down.
The medic goes down though. Olga getting taken down. HR, he jumped in onto mid and he just came in from behind. And he actually does manage to take down Olga with a dying rocket.
Raph got a sneaky little kind of blindsider onto Little Red Riding, who wanted to kind of commit a bit more into the fight as well, and the Chariot has entered back into the race, and they're trying to hunt down these scraps and remnants of these flanks from the Frenchies, and instead they're going to just go back and start building that Uber advantage they should have.
Nero's behind lines right now. That's going to be very uncomfortable.
Oh no, the Demo Man goes down again. Little Red Riding, he's had this happen a couple of times in a row now. It's got to be very frustrating.
Yeah, and Nevo is still behind line. Now they know about him, but I mean, that doesn't make it any less pressureful. to actually deal with him. The scout up on this high ground actually does a good job of shutting down any bombers. And that's 2 soldiers down right now for the Frenchies. Evo, he needs to come in from behind to do
Oh
work.
my god, he just blindsided that medic there, and I think the...
Demoman gets airshot by HR. And then he actually gets arrowed by the...
Olga with a lot of fancy dodges. He's doing a good job dodging not one, but 2 Burger Scouts, and he's still alive, however. He will go down eventually, and in the cruel world of TF2, that means a longer respawn and an even worse advantage. Or disadvantage, I should say.
Got the burgery. Absolutely there. Let's just blame it on the ping. But the Frenchies, they are just going to continue to go in here and put on some pressure. They don't care that they don't have any heals, but I think it's a bit too late at this point. The heals from Otto, they're just going to be pumping his team up right now. And we've got this soldier far forward. He's going to make sure to spam them out as the Frenchies are going to come in here. It's only 30 seconds remaining on the time right now for Badlands Chugs. And now the Frenchies, they're going to move in here. They need to capture this point. Otherwise, it's going to be very dicey for them.
Yeah, they actually throw in HR during all of this as they start to get aggressive because they keep bringing Olga forward during all of this fighting, but it's finding it so difficult to actually get on top of him. But this provides enough space, I guess, for that follow-up to not follow the rest of the aggression coming out from the Frenchies onto Badlands Chugs, and he managed to deflect all that aggression easily.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Frenchies, they send in 2 soldiers.
Nice. Nice Uber. Nice body block onto the point. That means as soon as that scout stepped off the point there, it's over. It's gone. It's gonzo. And it is the first round for the Badlands Chug. Bit of a shocker here.
Yeah, Otto did a great job of just dodging both of the soldiers there. Both Raph and Glassy just went in super deep onto the medic and they didn't get him. That just meant that they were effectively 2 players down. So that's going to be the first round of Badlands Chugs in a bit of an upset as far as I'm concerned. But great play by them.
Yeah, now let's see what the soldiers would like to do. Usually they do start off these mids with a big, strong soldier bomb, and you do see HR already getting in and laying down some damage, drawing some eyesight, and it'll be followed up with Wargasm, but they're just not having as much success as they were having the previous mid. Oh, the success is coming in the shape of some of these pipes, but they can only take 1 man at a time, and there's so many men left over for these Frenchies, and they're going to strong-arm them one by one against this point. But Wargasm wants to come back in. He's throwing out some damage, trying to make some space for his team. Clean, crisp rocket onto Nevo there, and the Demoman feels flustered dealing with all this aggression from Badlands Chugs.
Yeah, the soldiers have been actually having a lot of success with just playing in the alcove and then jumping out of it. They're not actually holding it, they're just using it to get really close before they jump in. And that means they can just use like 3 rockets in close proximity to do a ton of damage. That has really worked out, and I've seen it both teams actually doing it. And Alien is going to be the first player down. That's a scout down. That's a big deal. Soda comes in behind. He goes behind lines. And this Uber from the Frenchies have not been very good, but I think they are going to be able to escape. But can the Demoman get out as well as the medic? Looks like he will make it out. And Nevo, I thought he was caught in, but no. They were caught in there with him. And all of a sudden, this rebound is just going to make everything so much better. Olga needs to dodge this rocket. He does. That's a full wipe for Badlands Chugs.
Excellent kiting there from the Frenchies. Not only did they kind of draw them back, they were a bit indecisive about what they wanted to do. Some of them wanted the back, some of them wanted to commit, and they were caught out by a jumping soldier, laid out a massive amount of damage, and they all just kind of wailed on them, and it was very easy for the Frenchies to clean up there.
Yeah, both are playing pretty aggressively. Here comes the soldier. He was in the alcove, and he just not even going to commit quite yet. You can kind of see the soldier. They don't want to commit in too deep, but eventually they are going to make it in here, and they're actually doing an amazing job of staying alive and just jumping in one at a time. And here comes you for force out, and now it's just a matter of can Otto actually manage to escape.
Yeah, HR, my god, I've never seen a man caught behind enemy lines so much in my life. He loves, I think he just wants to be part of the blue team at this point. He will get cleaned up and found out, and I feel like they need to adjust their strategy a little bit. I did like the scouts getting behind, however, that the Frenchies were experimenting with, because a lot of these frags can be found from just discovering where all these low HP players are.
Yeah, they did manage to just get the Uber Force out eventually, so now they're going to come in with this Uber advantage, and they managed to take down Olga. Really clutch pick off there. Glassy's going to try to jump in, but he just meets the perfect rocket, and now Demoman's going to jump in. They're just doing a full sack wave here onto Otto, but they don't even get close there. They're just body blocking people, and scouts are going to just pick them out of the sky. So they're actually going to go for some sort of forward hold, it looks like. That's very interesting. This is the first time I've seen that on the map.
Is it part of the forward hold to lose your one of your burger scouts? I don't think it is, as that's going to make one less sightline, one less place they could possibly deal with over on the side of Badlands Chugs. They're going to get healed up here on Frenchies and they're going to start making this push, but they have got a bit of time where Auto does not have that Uber charge ready, so it's even Stevens for both of these teams despite their numbers, and they're just going to play it cool. They're just trying to clean up and pick off the players that aren't with the rest of their Badlands Chugs team and just isolate them and kill them one by one.
Nevo comes in with a huge flank, actually does so much work. And now everyone from Badlands Chugs, they're just over on this left side. They have a tiny teeny Uber advantage right now, and looks like they are going to try to use it. They do manage to catch out Nevo, but Olga, he is going to manage to get his Uber there. Almost certainly was going to be the expected result. And this medic, he's so weak, eventually going to get taken down by a fight. And HR, I think it's going to be a bit too late for him to actually come in here and make much of a difference.
Again, very nice sort of kiting gameplay from the Frenchies there, letting them use the Uber into them and kind of drawing it out, countering with their own Uber, and there's nowhere to really run or hide for the Badlands Chugs, and they just get wiped like that. This has happened twice now, and they need to adapt if they're going to keep their round streak up.
Yeah, we saw yesterday where they were using Ubers very aggressively. Now we're seeing the opposite, where they're doing it very passively. There's a soldier up on the high ground behind lines, but he actually gets picked out. And yeah, he eventually goes down. There was a soldier behind trying to deal with him. Devilman is super far forward there, but what a serve there from Delhi. It's going to make it back to safety. And you just see the French, they're pretty comfortable with just letting this point tick down and just taking it slow. And they are eventually going to just manage to defend this.
Yeah, they're kind of lemming in one by one, but I guess that's what the only game plan you can really do if you lose your medic like that and try and go for the equalizing pick. But it's so hard to get like the surprise factor onto him on a map like this. With one certain position, you could probably look at every possible place they could jump out from.
Okay, try to pay attention now to what Olga's doing, because this is like a very textbook suicide word. Never mind, actually the time makes that not a case. I'm dumb. But yeah, he has a full revenge. He's probably just move on the point at some point.
Yep, there he goes. He uses the point, uses onto the point now. They just need to clean up some of these kills. They're getting the high ground as well, and they're focus firing and just suppressing them. They need to just start throwing bodies on the point, but there's just not enough. It will be 1-1 now between both of these teams.
Yeah, the kiting definitely seems like it got improved quite a bit for the Frenchies as the second round rolled in. You were pinpointing it earlier on, and I would definitely agree with that. It's just the way that they kite the Uber, they make them run into them, and then they just do a bunch of counter aggression, and it really is managing to catch out Otto and a bunch of players when they do it.
Another mid, another attempt. This time we're going to follow Delhi and see what sort of damage can churn out. Doesn't really see anybody that's in an obvious spot to take out an easy damage onto. And because of this, nobody wants to go aggressive. The soldiers start into the fight now, but it may be a little bit too late as the Burger Scouts are doing a wondrous job of just creating the opportunities themselves. And on the back foot, with everyone low as well, they might have to head out of this fight. Good kind of reconnecting rocket from Raph there to maybe show some hope on this mid, but I think it's Badlands Chugs all the way, baby.
Oh no, soldiers went down here. Looks like Alien is going to be here to save Olga, but that could have ended really horribly. The Frenchies, they were a bit slow to exit mid right there, so it looks like they haven't figured out the mid fight at least. They've been losing those pretty badly. They sent in some soldiers and they didn't do much, and now this is a solo scout Uber.
It would be a solo scout Uber, and these have gone disastrously for Badlands Chugs. Let's see if it works the opposite for the Frenchies as well, and their Ubers, they come out quite unscathed in all honesty, and maybe they've just got these better sort of kiting tools on the Frenchie team, but they can maybe exploit that. The thing right now that's shooting them in the foot is these pickoffs, these sort of even fights where they have to focus each other, and yeah, they just isolate one person, all fire their guns at them, and believe it or not, Peter, they die.
Yeah, Olga, he might just die here as well. He's very weak. Looks like he is barely just going to manage to make it back to spawn there. He's probably pretty lucky about feeling that. But yeah, Little Red Riding just did so much work there. Hit some pipes. Those locked loads. They're doing a ton of work. Nevo actually is going to go down here as well. So this is this forward hold. And this time around, it's working a lot better. You can kind of see the Frenchies, they look a little bit confused as to what to do.
Yeah, they're trying to flank round, however. Maybe even meet them in the middle, and they decide against taking the direct fight. They go back to their mid, hold this point from an arm's length, and that's probably the wise thing, because every time they do this, they're wasting more time of that clock.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, just delaying. It's kind of like doing a forward hold in Badlands, where you're just kind of trying to delay, but this is going to be another scout Uber.
Ooh, early counter pop coming out from Auto there. I guess they really, really don't want like a mistake to happen or just have it go disastrously, but I feel like they can afford to milk these a bit more, and they are slowly, actually, no, it's going the Frenchies' way now. After the Ubers have been taken out, their focus fire has swung the other way. It seems like the Frenchies are better at adapting, but the Badlands Chugs are better at coming up with these sort of like initial winning strats.
Yeah, the scout routes have actually been really on point. Like, we saw the first one that we were kind of critical of. That one worked out just fine. They just timed it perfectly, and this one worked as well. And then the soldier got up on the high ground, you could just shoot down on the soldier on the right side, and that just won the Frenchies this. But now they're going to be a bunch of counter-aggression. Ubers are not a factor just yet, but if Badlands trucks are too slow, it will be a factor.
Yeah, there's nobody really isolated themselves quite yet. Maybe the Demo Man or Wargasm on this right-hand side, but nobody not a quick sort of heal can fix, and they're focusing the medic instead. And very nice Uber aggressive coming out from Olga there, realizing their timing and knowing they've got that advantage and pushing it as soon as they got it.
Yeah, there's a single scout behind lines.
Oh, that's how you end a mid-fight.
Just predict exactly where he's going to double jump to. It's that easy, folks. Yeah.
Scout class countered, not overpowered anymore. Secret found. Scout class hates this.
Yeah, you just need to figure out exactly what he's going to do and then time your pipes right. It's that easy.
It's not overpowered at all. Good God, people.
Oh, this Uber again, though. Catches the medic. Wow. That's an aggressive Uber. This is a completely opposite of what they've been doing so far, and it's kind of catching the Badlands trucks out completely.
Oh my God, these air shots. Oh my God, another air shot as well. Oh my God, another air shot. Oh my God, buy one, get one free, get another free as well.
That was 3 air shots in a row. Just crazy back-to-back-to-back air shots. And that was all off the back of this really fantastic Uber just Ubering in on the left side. This is forward sticky trap. Okay, it has been spotted here. But Ubers are not going to be quite a factor just yet, but Wargasm tried to go up on this left side, but he gets taken down by the scout, so this push is already looking very dicey.
Yeah, they look like they've almost defeated a little bit in their mind, a bit like just the confidence surging through the veins of Frenchies right now. They're taking every skirmish and they're winning them, Beta, and they're running scared. And they can't even throw HR into trying to get these Hail Marys as well. They just seem to be on top of the game right now.
Yeah, this is very interesting with how aggressive they're being right now, because they were passive earlier and it worked, and now they're very aggressive with it. And I think they just kind of want to catch out the medic, but now the Ubers are even. I think they're going to go back to being very passive and try to pick them for pop first. Yeah, that's definitely the case right now, and looks like Otto, he doesn't quite want to bite, but eventually they are just going to lose a scout here, and they might just have to force you. There we go.
Oh no, this is a disastrous Uber. I could tell what they were going for. They noticed that whenever they use their Uber first, they end up losing, but it's still a sad scenario where they lose a couple of scouts going off into the fight. They're doing an admirable job of actually keeping the fight going, and that respawn advantage is sort of helping them. The scouts can re-enter the fight now, and they can take this without the Ubers being involved. It's very scrappy though. They do finish off the medic, so they have got that heal advantage now, and praise the ability of King of the Hill and its loser advantage.
Yeah, the scout, he wants this medic. He's not going to be able to win the fight, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get the medic.
Glastry, he wants to go in. He's hiding. They know he's there, and he wisely backs out. Get out of there, boy. Man.
Yeah, they're in no rush. You know, they just need to cap the time, and they have about a minute to do it. Although he doesn't have his Uber yet, so they get this nice push in here where they can get a proper fight with no Uber involved. And if they win that, they just win the round.
Yep, and they throw in a soldier, see if they can get aggressive onto Olga and punish his sort of play.
Oh, this medic? Oh, that was so weak. He's on 95% at 18 HP.
He has to leave the rest of his team, though. He's not healing anybody, and the Uber's not being built during all of this. His players are going down one by one. They cap off the point. 2 rounds onto the board for the French team.
That's a heartbreaker for Otto. He never got over 95% Uber. Yeah, he had to take a giant risk right there, I think. Yeah. That probably would have been the right play, but it feels bad. So great pressure right there from the Frenchies, putting on a ton of pressure, and it works out for them perfectly right here. So it looks like they're really finding their form right now.
All right, it is the map point here over on this game of clear cut. Let's see if it's going to be a clear cut in this round, as they just need to win out these mids. That's what they've been struggling with so far on this French team. And Glastry's going in. He gets a nice starting rocket, and he gets followed up by his buddy as well. But it's a sad thing to say that the medic probably wasn't worth it, though, on this mid, as the rest of the team goes down.
Yeah, Raph is in. Okay, I was gonna say he was in this sneaky position and be able to do something. But man, he is so weak. Yeah, he's just gonna get one shot of there by a scout. So the Frenchies.
Oh no, Glastry! He's caught this medic hiding in the spawn area. Nobody went back to kind of escort their medic from the spawn, and he's dead for not only like 10 seconds, but now 20 seconds.
That is just so painful right there, because the Frenchies they just keep losing these mid fights, and actually, Little Red Riding managed to take down Delhi with the lock and load. It really does seem like it has a really beneficial arc on this map. It just fits it perfectly, where you can just kind of lob them over middle, and it just perfectly arches down into the head of people.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of these focus fire sort of situations as well. Like, here's a good example here where the soldier's probably going to crate it, and there you go, Burger Scout awarded with that. And when they take these sort of 5v5 bomb fights, I feel like they do win out, but it's just really hard for them to kind of get in those scenarios without a random ass pipe going on to Little Red Riding there, and I seem to be eating my words here, B, so I feel foolish. The medic's going to go down as well. That nice aggressive Uber. Olga sticking strong with what's been winning them the game so far, these aggressive Ubers onto scouts.
Yeah, Walker, unfortunately, he kind of just went behind lines and managed to take down the demo, and he was behind line for quite a while, so this is not that convincing of a fight for the Frenchies that one might think, considering what they got to do with the Uber, but they sort of split up a little bit there and dropped the demo man, so now it's going to be this huge aggression wave coming in here for the Badlands Chugs.
The Badlands Chugs scouts have been doing a wonderful job of just like acting strong, even when you've got like 1 HP warriors wandering in, they still just pretend they're strong and just end up like taking these fights and just coming out of them well, not dead, but not unscathed, but not dead.
Undead.
Undead scouts, OP.
That describes Scout pretty well, in my opinion. But yeah, it looks like they are favoring this right side. Demo Man actually down super weak. Little Red Riding's gonna need some heals. Unfortunately, everyone else is busy dying, so they're just gonna have to limp back out here. I think this was kind of an attempt by them to just make it into the middle before they got the Uber, and then they could take a proper Uber fight. But because they lost a bunch of players, they're just gonna have to wait for the Uber, and now they're gonna have to make their way in the middle again. And they're just going to kind of just start over. Glasty's holding far forward, and he has been spotted, though.
Yeah, putting the suicide into suicide wave. It's now time for the suicide push, as they have got their Uber charge that hopefully will prevent them from suicide as much. Oh, a drop! A drop coming out from Olga. This has turned the tides of this little fight here, and they get pretty much a free midpoint. No heals, no
Scout on the medic, though.
free jail card. Nevo's going to force out the Uber out of order, but Olga's still down during that Uber charge, so he's going to have it back up just a little bit quicker than Olga can. But I don't think they'll be able to play off it like they were hoping to there.
Yeah, that was definitely a big save from Nevo. I'm not even sure how he quite dropped it. Like, I thought he was just looking at him, but I guess not. I guess he was just looking away a little bit, and then he just got a fat 112 rocket to him, and he didn't expect it. But they're going to jump in sort of very aggressively on the right side, and now they're just going to slowly make it in there. But here comes the counter aggression, just going behind lines, not quite managing to get in there though. So the Frenchies, they've been cleaning up a lot of players, and keep in mind that they have better spawns. So taking these spawns, oh, never mind. Losing your medic, that's going to change everything.
Oh no, they're bum rushing this Demo Man there, and it does not feel good to play Demo Man when you've got a scout just up in your face like that. And they do manage to hold, but they've held a lot of casualties. And like you said, the loser advantage stings when you're playing King of the Hill. Look how much quicker they're up and ready for the fight again over on French squad. Yeah,
they can definitely afford to do a bit of lemming strat here. They need to get the Uber out of this medic. You see, he's kind of holding in this big open area where he has a lot of room to dodge, but he's just going to pop his Uber immediately because they have spotted the enemy medic. Olga takes a ton of damage, but he looks like he has grabbed the scout and made his way out. So, beautiful positioning there from Olga.
Poor Glastry, trying to get out there and have to take another attempt and swing at things, but it's a bit quiet here. I don't think they noticed Wargasm hiding in this little safe room. He's looking for the medic. He finds him now, but it took him a hot second to find him, but he will go down, and no heals for that team, but they've got a lot of damage classes. They can afford to get a bit suicidal here. They need to watch out for sticks, however, and they're starting to go make that coordinated effort.
Glasty's he's sneaking his way in.
Oh no, it's the walking bomb, the most terrifying of all the bombs. How did he get there? Said poor Auto, as he will go down to the full 4 rocket loaded soldier. Oh my, it hurts to watch.
How did he waddle onto me? Sometimes you just got to ask yourself that question. So, yeah, we've kind of seen this pattern where both medics keep dying. It can sometimes get into this rut where both teams are just so aggressive, and so they can do these really terrifying high bombs, and the medic can't really hide from them anywhere. So he just has to do his best by dodging, and these soldiers are good. They're gonna hit some rockets.
My god, these pipes are coming out from the lock and load. They feel deadly, and it feels like it's what's winning them these sort of aggressive fights. It seems one person eats a pipe, and it's very, very hard for the Frenchies to make the comeback into it. 100 HP is a lot to lose, just like that, Vita.
Yeah, and it feels like you have very little counterplay, and it can kind of just give you an advantage because it happens before the fight even starts. It kind of feels like you're not in a position to do damage, and you've already taken 100. That can just really feel like you're in a very compromised position. So now we got this full Uber advantage right now for Otto. So the French, I think they're going to try and go and see if they can get a force up.
Wargasm, that was nice. Meeting Glastry where he wants to jump away from, doing almost like a sync jump up with each other as well. They're going aggressive, but remember, last time they did the aggressive Ubers like this, it really blew up in their faces, and they didn't expect the scouts to just kind of swing and jimmy around themselves and go attack them from behind. These scouts are eating up the rest of Badlands Chugs there, and oh my, they just got the point. It went into overtime, and the scouts did it. From the clutches, they've brought this map to the French squad.
Yeah, I think Otto might have just pulled the trigger on his Uber there a little bit too early. I think he just kind of saw, oh, time is running out, might as well Uber. And no one, he was really that weak, but it actually ended up, they needed that Uber to last a little longer. Because the Frenchies just kind of went super aggressive. They managed to do a big old star split and just come back in and crunch them. So they ended up just kind of pulling a Hannibal, and you're just shooting in from the outside.
Genius coming out from the scouts. The fact that they, not only when they made that flank round, they stood on the point during overtime Beta. They need to do that as well. So not only was it a flank, it was like a requirement that they also fulfilled as well. And they didn't see it coming. They expected when they just went behind that tower, they would run out of their base and run back to the safe haven of their side of the map. But no, they just went back around, give them the broken ankle treatment.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I pulled up the logs, and there's one fantastic stat in here, and that is that Otto did 0 damage.
Oh my! Well,
that's
I mean,
so
he's maybe he's on automatic. Hey, hi-oh! Okay.
Yeah, low five.
But I mean, I admire it. I guess it's just showing that he's really. It shows how much attention is being brought to the medic and how much you're fighting. There's no sort of stalemates that happens on this map. It feels like, and the medics are always constantly just trying to pump out heals or avoid damage.
Yeah, the pacifist run. I like it.
All right, let's see what other stats we've got here. And the stat that's sticking out to me like an absolute sore thumb, and I'm going to be the bad guy, get the chickens off the runway. I'll be the bad guy. It's HR. He's low on kills, he's low on damage, and he's high on deaths. That boy needs to calm down and stop going to the enemy side of the map.
Yeah, it's like his kill depth is whatever, but his damage is also really low. It's kind of interesting to see how Glastry did less damage but got more kills. That's interesting to me. I don't know, man. Maybe HR was just the first one in every time. I'm not actually that bothered by it. I'm looking at the demo stats, right? So we were kind of saying how Little Red Riding was doing really well with the lock and load, and that's actually true. He did more damage with the lock and load than his stickies.
But that's not the OP gun, is it, though, Beta? That's not the overpowered gun.
No. Right. So he did 3,700 damage with the lock and load. He did about 3,000 with the sticky launcher, a little bit less. And then we look at Deli, who did with the eye bomb, he did about 4,000 damage. But then with his sticky launcher, he did 5,500. Right. So yeah, stickies are good.
Yeah, I mean, it may call into question like how much of that is, air quotes, war damage. That damage that you just kind of pad out the stats. Nobody can really do anything, or you can really play off it. It's just a little poking and prodding away, death by 1,000 cuts, or just annoying by 1,000 cuts. But I don't know. I mean, in a map like this where things are constantly going on, there's no sort of stalemate. Maybe war damage isn't really a thing. It's just pressure, and they were feeling pressured a lot over on Badlands Chugs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the scouts were actually doing a really good job. Like, if you look at them, they both have like 360 plus DPM. That's really good. They have great KDs.
My God, what have they been feeding these scat? Oh wait, okay, that's a silly question. But
One has to think. Yeah.
But yeah, they were definitely putting in work, and they were doing a great job of like not only noticing who was being damaged, but picking them off during these sort of little fights. But I feel like there was just a bit more scenarios that were in the favor of the Frenchies. Like for example, the Ubers were so much stronger on the Frenchies. The pick-off game was so much stronger on the Frenchies. The behind play was so much stronger from the Frenchies. Sure, they could when it took like the plain old regular 5e fights and they were pushing across the point or taking these mid fights. Badlands Chugs were looking good, but that's only like one string to their bow.
Yeah, it is very interesting that they won every single mid fight. Still, like that's definitely something I want to ask them about when we do interviews. Like, why were they able to win every single mid fight? Like, what was the key there? That should be an interesting question.
All right. Well, it's time to pack away the numbers. It's time to pack away the math as we're heading into our next map, and we probably should follow up with a bit of map talk as well. I mean, I'm sure it's great to play, but is it great to watch as well? And I can't think of two better experts than me and you, Beta, and we're going from one King of the Hill map to another. This is going to be the most comparison of comparisons, and you've been telling me earlier you've been doing a lot of looking at Bagel. You've been in the laboratory studying it and looking up at the new strats because you think this map is the bee's knees. Correct?
I don't know if I said it was the bee's knees, but I have kind of completely convinced myself that sniper is viable on this map, which sounds stupid to everyone.
Explain it to me, Beta.
All right, so my theory is that you have a sniper and you position him on the left side. You know, when you come out through
you're going into your battlements, that little house area that you get.
Yeah, right. Like you have like this little balcony kind of thing. That's a little bit of raised flat ground. Right, so you put your sniper there, and you just use him to
use him.
yeah, like he has a very straightforward sideline to the front of him, right? So that means that no one from them can really play inside that house. So you just put a soldier inside the house, and then you walk your sniper forward into this house, and now you can snipe the right side from your own left side with the sniper, which means that you can take over the right side with your own soldiers and demo and scout, whatever. And that means that all of a sudden you control both flanks, which means that you're going to have a huge advantage because they're going to have to go through middle, which is terrible because it's super choky. So that's why sniper is good. I've completely convinced myself. Don't bring logic into this.
If you listen quietly, I think you can probably hear the scratching of pencils and pens and papers by the other teams. Like, that's genius, that's brilliant. We should do that right now, because I feel like that's the issue teams have been having on this map. Is they've been troubles holding, it feels, for these teams. Just constant aggression, attack is all that's on the menu for this, and the teams are really scratching their head to find some stability here, and maybe it is just foregoing an entire side of the map and just making a mini base.
Yeah, I also thought about, how about just putting a heavy on the platform?
Oh no, here we go.
With a sniper, right? So the heavy weapons platform. It's a super passive strat, and you just kind of let them cap, but then in the process of capping, you just do enough damage to them, maybe kill a person or two, so you can just recap it again. So in the end of the day, you end up like controlling the point for 20 seconds, then losing it for 10, and eventually you just win.
I mean, you almost got the full bingo card there, Beta. Do you want to throw an engineer as well? How can the engineer help on this? I mean,
let me tell you, engineer is trash. All right, end of discussion.
All right, let me change the question, the parameters. We haven't seen too much off-classing so far. Do you have a theory on why this might be for this map?
Yeah, so first of all, it doesn't have particularly good sniper sidelines. Right, like in order to actually use the sniper, you need to go pretty far forward, and that means that you can get aggressed on really, really heavily, right? Like you can even hear with my sniper tactic, it involves sending the sniper forward aggressive to them, because he doesn't have a very great sidelines further back. Like you can see straight across the point, but that's pretty much it.
Can you see straight across the point? I'm looking a little bit at it now, but I think like the big point, the sort of point nipple gets in the way. Unless is there a box or anything you can stand in the little battlements area?
In the staircase, right? If you stand on that, you can see.
Yeah, I guess maybe, possibly. Yeah, okay.
Yes, you can kind of see across.
Oh wow, the cameraman's even help us out. There we go. Okay, now go to the left, Adam. I want you. No. Like fly through. Okay, yeah, that house to your left. Keep going. Keep going. Yep, there we go. All right, look for something the sniper could stand on and look into their enemy battlements. There you go. This is the spot. This is the power play spot if you want to take out enemy snipers.
Yeah, right. Like that left side inside the house. That's where I want the sniper to be. That's what I convinced myself is good. And we just need some proper.
Yeah, and I guess if he's if they haven't come in yet, they can switch a bit more to the close to the point and start like looking for from there. I mean, I don't think the sniper would get up there, Adam. That would be a bit crazy and bonkers.
Yeah, right. And then also, like, there's actually quite a bit of distance from the spawn into the actual middle point. So that means that if you want to run heavy, he's going to have to run for a really long time to actually get in there. And then he's probably not going to be all that good because he doesn't have any natural high ground or obstacles that he can hide behind. It's
surprising, quite a chug of a marathon to get to the midpoint on this King of the Hill map. Usually you don't see this too much, and there is an air pad, so even the heavy can feel quick respites of rocket jumping.
Heavy jumps.
But not quite what he's used to or what he's hoping to really pull off if he wants to get to these mids quickly. So we'll see. We'll see if they risk it all. It is a plan set in motion that they could take advantage of now. You're welcome, Dernier per more. I think I said that correctly, and Badlands Chugs, who, need I remind you, are here in this final of ETF2L Season 36, the Preseason Map Cup, brought to you by teamfortress.tv with your boys, TurboTabs, Beta, and ArchRhythm here on the camera. And we're proud to present our second map. It's going to be Bagel, baby. Let's go. Let's see how they break down this map. And I've got big expectations. I see Stickies flying, and already...
Oh my god, Stickies flying!
Sticky's flying, overpowered gun, and oh my god, Raph! Rockets flying, air shots flying, gets an easy peasy kill onto Wargasm. I've never seen such an early outplay in these starting fights of this Bagel map. And that's given the troops some sort of motivation to start pushing forward, but the scouts are just such a pain to deal with over on the French squad that they haven't got them under control. They've taken out one now, but losing a demo man for it is not worth Peter.
Yeah, Exile won a 1v1 against the soldier on the right side, but now the soldier's actually snuck his way in behind. He's on the medic, pops him into the air. Not quite going to be able to get onto him, though. And this point still remains uncapped. The scouts are in a prime position to finally get it, and there we go.
Yeah, my, that was a nice pipe, but it doesn't do anything, sadly. Raf's gone in behind, though. He's hoovered up a health pack without them knowing, and he could enter the fight back in here. He's rejoined his team, who didn't even need him. They just kind of cleaned up the kills on his own, and he's just going to keep hoovering on health packs. At least one stat's going to look good on the logs later.
Yeah, we've seen something that actually resembles a forward hold coming out from several teams, and it looks like the Frenchies, they were kind of thinking about it, but it just ended up being just a simple sneaky trap from Delhi that was kind of far forward on the right side. But just immediately Badlands Chugs came in from the left side. You can see they already have so much pressure onto this point. And actually, Nevo comes in with the perfect timing, the big soldier double
my
bomb.
God. Oh my God, the collapse there. And it feels so... Oh my, nice little bomb from HR to actually turn things around. Gets not only the medic, but some other classes to boot. That's like a 3-man there, just casually thrown out.
Yeah, so that actually just gives the point out for free. Like, there's just no way the French are ever going to get spawners in time to actually get there, to be able to contest it. So Otto even going to have a cheeky little Uber advantage. It's not going to be much. But I
just wanted to point out that I think HR got more kills in that 5-second span than the last map combined. But
hush.
Oh, I'm sorry, HR, but I like to pick out the stragglers. All right, okay, so we're going for another good old-fashioned mid, and it is hard to kind of cap out these mids without first capturing these sort of house areas, and it seems the Frenchies understand this. It's their priority, it seems, right now, where it looks like over on Badlands Chugs, they just go for raw across the point aggression and take the point that way. There's no defense if they just kill it first, and it's just that simple. They will defend it for now. They didn't even cap it, poor Frenchies.
Yeah, it seems like the key is to just punish them enough for actually trying to edge out this point, but the demo man, he was super far forward. He was going to take so much damage.
There's a single Uber onto Nevo. Nevo's running circles around the point. Where is everybody he's looking for? He's now in a horrible, he's in a horrible situation with his medic. He's in the wrong side of the map, but it was all a distraction play. The soldiers were the real threat as they eventually come to the call of their scout buddy and will kind of clean up the kills from there. And during all that, Nevo has survived.
Yeah, he did a big old loop-de-loop and managed to get around Little Red Riding has been on 8 HP this entire time, so he's just limping back to his own spawn to get some of those nice heals from his medic. And now it's going to be Orca that has this tiny advantage, but this is one of those situations where you can just definitely push without thinking about Uber. So you're just taking a fight, and we have a single soldier, Raph, holding in this area. He's going to try and see if he can deny this from coming in here. It looks like he will succeed. So holding the flank has been successful so far.
Ooh. Nice, nice, just little forward bomb from Wargasm. Kind of imposing themselves and buying some room for his team. They will get the counter kill onto Glastry, who's going aggressive as well, and they just take the point like that. All it took was just a slightly intimidating soldier jump.
Yeah, it's so difficult to put them in a defensive position where you still hold on to the point, because you can actually just start capping it so early. It's not like right around. Oh, what a pipe there! It's not just around the corner. It's actually just such a huge area that you can't stop them from actually just getting it down. But it looks like the flank area is now being controlled by Badlands Chugs. So this is a very uncomfortable. It looks like Soldier has come up from the side here. That's going to change that. And here comes Uber from Otto.
It's the big fat single Uber onto one scout. Nobody is allowed in a part of this Uber apart from Alien, and the rest of the team are making it work. They're just playing it like regular fights, but even regular fighters die from time to time. HR is going to get the cleanup kill onto Raph, and they just start taking the point back after the Ubers are exchanged. Maybe it isn't worth just these single Ubers if they don't get anything done with the Ubers.
I don't think this fight is over just yet. You can see the Frenchies once again. They have so much health, and they have managed to secure the flank, at least for the time being.
Oh, nice combination of sticky and pipe there. Oh, Delhi got some very clean, crisp pipes to push out the aggressive Badlands Chugs, and they will hold on to this point. Medic caught out though. Oh, easy peasy. 1-2 punch pie. Delhi there onto auto, and that's probably tatters for this attempt at pushing the mid for Badlands Chugs. And God, they're even getting picked off by all these sorts of soul searchers here over on the French squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I almost thought they were going to go super deep with this Uber, but it looks like that's not going to be the case here. Now, about the Frenchies, they have just been positioning one soldier in each room, and they're just kind of counting on that to be enough. It looks like they've actually seeded one side of it.
Yeah, they've gone aggressive. The medic stepped forward. Nice air shot coming out from Delhi onto auto there, and with no medic, they can just play off the heels, and they've gone a bit balls to the wall aggressive. I like this play from Badlands Chugged. It's taken them off the leash, and it's a sad affair to say that the scouts will win this out, but they have buffs. You know, they brought that close. Still, congrats to them.
Yeah, it's 4 seconds, so Badlands Chugged, they need to get on here. They do manage to get some point pressure right now, but just not enough. It was the point pressure was just constant right there. So the Fenties, they do manage to take this once again, and it just does seem like they're just a bit more like adaptable to any kind of situation that gets thrown at them, and they eventually just manage to eke out the win on these maps here. So that's going to be 1-0 for the Frenchies over Badlands Jug.
Yeah, that was quite a skirmish and back and forth, constantly exchanging that point between both of these teams, however. I think Delhi going in and winning that round with his pipes there, and let's see if he can make the magic happen, catch lightning in a bottle twice as they're going for another mid, and they're on soldier watch right now for both of these teams, and HR and Raph and everybody just can't get an edge in any way. And these scouts, God, they're so pesky, just standing above the point like that. It's so dumb. Ugh.
Yeah, like if a scout can get onto the middle point here, that seems like the big proposition.
Oh my, Nevo, he just wisely holding on to his scattergun there, realised nobody had him, kept an eye on him on that flank, and got in the big fat double meat shot, easy peasy onto that medic. And Auto, he's not having a good time in this game, it feels like. It feels like he's automatically at spawn. Hey-oh!
Yeah, really good trigger discipline there. That's one of those things that you need to learn when you play scout. Like, don't just immediately shoot at people when you see them, just that you can get close and get the meat shots. But now I can see the Demo Man jumping in super aggressively.
Desperate. Oh god. Oh, the soldier's going in though. I mean, it is a suicide wave after all, and but it's so hard to make these sort of jumps in with the scouts and the positions that where they're at. But it just feels bad to see like a Demo Man, just as powerful as he is, just get thrown around like a ragdoll.
Yeah, you can see you just got like banged up against the wall and you just fell down like super sad. That's not what you want to see. When the scouts are that far forward,
Nice bomb from Glastry. He tries to get aggressive onto this medic before, and he's done a very good job of holding onto his Uber, but he had to back out and surf away so far to keep himself out of danger that the rest of his team dies there. And it's a real shame. You could do everything right and still lose.
Oh, this Uber is not good. Oh no, look at Olga. Just literally doesn't use. No respect. Just, he was just like, yeah, like, I don't care if my scout dies, I'm just not going to pop it all. And look at this, full Uber advantage now.
Yeah, they're having a wonderful time. Double chariot action. He's going to pop off the Uber now. They see a medic and they see the red in their eyes and they're going to start going aggressive. And with the medic down, it's time for the bonus kills. Oh, but they're so telegraphed. They have to go into the same spot and the soldiers are like, hello, this is the easiest rockets of my life. And the soldiers will actually rocket jump up instead. And yeah, they're doing a good job of holding on to this little room of theirs, getting maybe providing from their health pack, but they can't really push from there because these stickies are going to make it difficult. Oh, the stickies, they've actually been dealt with. Oh no, they've actually saved the stickies to pop for later on, and they've managed to get in with the majority of their squad, and they're bleeding a couple of kills on both of these, but the Demo Man kill is so valuable for Badlands Chugs, they're going to make a go of it.
I'm just so happy you got to lose a boost pad action. That was good fun there. They actually do manage to cap out this point, but I think they've lost a lot of players. The Badlands Chugs, they are in danger of losing a bunch of their stuff again and just being pushed right back on them. And here comes this push. You can see, and soldiers, they have secured both areas. And now it's just going to be this very aggressive push in here. But the Uber comes out just in time here from Otto. And I don't think
Nevo
might be able to
is waiting in the wings. He's hiding and he's pressuring these players out. Un-Ubered right now will be kind of controlled and isolated finally, but that Uber charge was nowhere near as aggressive as it could have been because they had to deal with these scouts
going
behind.
aggressive.
And he's gone dead. And oh my, actually the
he did the
follow-up.
damage though. And
Yeah, he did the damage, and the follow-up did the follow-up. So with Auto going down again and Olga staying alive, I feel like I'm spotting a trend here in this best of 3 Bisa.
Yeah, now the Frenchies, they are in this commanding position where they're holding this midpoint, and now Badlands, they need to get in here. Nice air shot there from both soldiers.
From behind. Oh, Auto, again, gonna die. It's gonna be such a painful thing to look at these logs. Deli's on the, being hunted. The scout wants him, but he doesn't dare chase. So they're gonna respect him and just let him go back. And they're going to have to dig deep. They're going to have to figure out this sort of conundrum of a map and find a defense in the next 10 seconds here, Peter. Otherwise, they're going to lose this map, or actually lose the round. But they'll probably lose the map as well.
Yeah, it's hard to come back down to the one, but yeah, you can see the Frenchies, they're just trying to edge it out. And right now, Badlands, they know that if they lose this point at any time, they just lose. The soldier's going to jump in very aggressively onto Olga. Olga actually does a really nice serve there, but he was kind of left alone. But the Frenchies, that was just all a big distraction, it would look like, as Olga. He's just going to get this.
My
there
God.
we go, the cap. And that was a very convincing round, unlike the last one.
These scouts are not being checked at all. They're just kind of going in behind and just doing whatever they hell please. I've never seen such a just sort of free scout play than like a pub server. It's got to hurt.
Yeah, it just seems like these flank areas are very, very difficult. It seems like there's going to be soldiers and scouts like in the sides, and then whoever wins those 1v1 fights in there, they're going to win the mid. That's my going theory.
I guess maybe people are now wondering like, so that's why Viaduct barely has any way to flank it. But we're going into another mid, and oh god, it is not a good mid. This might be one of the few mids that the Frenchies are actually winning out right in these sort of mid-fight scenarios. So easily and crisp, getting almost like a wipe without losing a single person.
Yeah, good stuff. Otto did survive though, so it's going to be even Uber, so they're going to immediately be able to go out here. But of course, you want to use your Uber as late as possible, otherwise, you're going to get the situation where Olga just doesn't.
Oh no, Glastry. He's hiding around the corner and he's got so much to deal with that one poor soldier can't. But he does force out the Uber, however. Hiding around that corner does have its perks, even if it is suicide as well.
Yeah, Olga's going to pop here.
Yeah, it's a single Uber onto Nevo, and it's a lot of pressure for him to actually try and make it work with the way that it's been popped as well. I think they're going to get choked by their own rope here, and Olga's trying to make his way back, and he's like, Raph, you're not a scout, where's my free movement speed? Oh, where's the plugin?
Yeah, I'm thinking just around now he he would like that to just be massive move speed no matter what.
That's a plugin they can get behind.
Yeah, the inverse medic scout speed. Right, so the slower the target you heal, the faster you run as medic. Let that be a thing.
Okay,
anyway.
Annie would be crying around about now with joy. Alright, oh my god, 3 auto kill. I don't know what that position was. Why he was standing there.
That was like a random pipe, so he just got completely juggled.
Oh, you hate to see it. An alien, again, got in from the flank, and you know what's happened. Oh, nice pipe coming out from Deli onto Wargasm there. And dear Christ, these just the polar opposites of what's happening. The flanks go in for Badlands Chugs and they get air-shotted, and the scouts get in and they just aren't dealt with.
Yeah, it all just falls apart when you lose your medic like that. That was not part of the plan, let's just say. This forward hold doesn't look very potent, though. That just means that the Olga is super far forward.
It's not a hold, it's an aggression, Peter, as they've actually Ubered in now and they're chasing this Demoman down. He will go down just before the crossbow is brought into effect. There's an air pad fight, and they will actually win out that as well, but the forward hold is still kind of a bit costly to their health.
As so weak.
They're taking so much damage just trying to enter these fights that they enter with nothing really to fight with. No health, no nothing, and the medic's a bit cut off from the world.
Yeah, the spawn timers, though, they're coming into play. There's only 3 players alive for the Frenchies, so they need to just retreat right here. They also are at an Uber disadvantage, so they're going to have to just wait a little bit. I don't think they have time to do a suicide wave, but they can just kind of hang back with their medic. Olga needs to be very careful, though. If he gets Ubered on, he's dead.
Who's watching these houses? Every single time now. Oh, they're going aggressive with the medic. Maybe that's why they're not watching these houses. Yeah, and now they're going to clean up these soldiers that are being a pest in these houses as well. Pest control taken care of. The Demoman's even flanking as well. Everyone's having a good flank around, and Alien's going to pick out Auto. Auto must feel so sad playing on this map, because I don't think I've ever seen that man survive a fight.
Yeah, it really just does seem like it's extremely difficult to actually make any kind of coherent strategy work. There's just so many fights happening all the time. It's very difficult to slow the game down and have like this nice calm game where you can just figure out what's going to happen. This is all about quick thinking and just constantly being aware of what's happening around you. Otherwise, you're just going to die.
Alright, so they're going to start pushing across the point now, see if they can weasel it before Olga gets his Uber charge, and he should have it up a bit quicker than the Badlands Chugs, and if they keep losing casualties like that as well, they won't need a stinking Uber, as Deli's been doing a wonderful job just laying out the damage and kind of blocking the point as well. And yeah, I love the way that the Frenchies are playing this, really just not even an arm's length defense, it's just a plain old defense. They've actually taken aggression onto Alto again with this Uber charge, and with him taken care of, they just need to blob up and defend their own medic here, but it's going to be a tall order as everyone's coming out of their little crevices to try and take attempts at his lives, and they will clean them up one by one.
Yeah, Deli hitting the crisp pipes right here. And you can see they have this Uber advantage, they got the man advantage, and they got the heal advantage right now. As you can see, Badlands just desperately going forward.
They're entering the meat grinder. And
they lost the demo though.
They've got another Uber. Okay, well, that was built up very quickly, and they're going in deep with this. The medic's in resupply, for God's sake, and there's a bit of air pad sort of flankage, but they will kind of get back, and they're making the chase, and Aliens is doing what scouts love doing on this map, flanking around and killing Auto. He's going to get cleaned up, and he's going to link back up with his team, start raining out some of these frags. It's in overtime right now, and it is over this time. It is 3-0 for the Frenchies, and I think that's match point, that's game, that's everything. Yep. That's the cup, ladies and gentlemen. They've been won by Dernier per more.
I didn't get to see a game on Villa, so I'm a little bit bummed about that. But otherwise, good tournament, and the French team are really strong. Just bunch of, you were basically the French national team almost, just rolling on in and doing really well. But you could see that was a very strong performance from them. They were definitely used to playing together, and they seemed very adaptable with the way that they did strategies, where they didn't just stick to one thing that worked. They actually did a bunch of different things that were kept catching their opponents off guard. But let's hope we can actually get some interviews in here, because we want to hear from the actual experts what they think about these maps.
Whoa, hold your horses there, partner. We need to scale it back. We need to go through the logs. We need to look through the mathematical breakdown. I don't care if it's a 3-0 wipe, easy peasy for the French team. We're going to look at every excruciating detail on how they lost this map. Let's get to the logs.
All right, lowest DPM on a combat class was Glassy with 289 DPM. that was the lowest DPM. Highest DPM is Delhi with 539 DPM. That should tell you all about, you need to know about the pace of this map.
Yeah, and Little Red Riding just never got a foothold as Demo Man, and I feel like it was just the Delhi show kind of setting up that initial fight, and then the Scout show just... I feel like the soldiers had a job which was just hold the houses, and maybe like assist in obvious kills and stuff like that. But other than that, try and like lay the lot down, and then the scouts can like abuse whichever flank kind of gets broken in. And you can see the mathematical abuse right here. Nevo, Alien, getting these kills, raining in the damage, and you could see during the game that they just had nothing controlled, and they were blindsiding everybody on Badlands Chugs.
Yeah, they didn't seem like they were like playing super heavily around the medic. It was mostly just that they were doing these crazy flanks all the time and just getting behind and hitting the meat and just being an absolute pest. This is like the worst kind of scout to play against. It just feels terrible because they're just like these like buzzing insects just all around you all the time. And, it's very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and I like talking about it because it just happened so much, but also... those deaths, it's got to hurt because it's not his fault. You know, if your medic is dying at this sort of frequency, it's something wrong with your team effort. And there's no sort of, I guess, flank watching. And I feel like I'm beating the bush and beating a dead horse about this over and over and over again. But good God, those flanks onto auto at a constant rate was just, crippling for Badlands Chugs.
Yeah, absolutely. We did also see just like Olga actually got caught out a bunch of times as well. Where he was just a bit too far forward, and it's actually very difficult to make it out alive once you're inside the middle area. People can just jump in and just really lock down those chokes, and they're pretty small actually. Like the doorways, they're not that big, and they're kind of far away for a lot of the time. So you need to be very, very careful when you're fighting with uber disadvantage on this map. And like even the medic that was on the winning team and like played well also got caught out doing it. So you can just tell it's dangerous.
Now that we've had a little bit of a Bagel refresher though, Beta, and we didn't see any sort of off-classing at all. Nobody felt like they had any opportunity to throw out an off-class. Not even like a desperate off-class play where you feel like you're losing so much you just need to try something else. They didn't even have time for that. So he's still sticking by that sniper rule. You're stamping it in like, nah, this is how they should have won it, boys.
I mean, I'm gonna stick to it until someone proves me wrong, which I think they will, right? Because I think the reason why people don't play sniper is because the flanks are really important, and if you lose one flank, you want to leverage it to try and win maybe the other flank or to attack the middle with it, and you need very mobile classes to like make use of the flank areas and contest them and defend them and attack them in time. And that's Cookie Cutter TF2, right? Like you have all the fast classes. Those are the ones we use. And it's kind of just multiplied and elevated and just made more important by this map and the way it's designed. So it makes perfect sense that you don't see a whole lot of off-classing, in my opinion. It's just, I have a sniper theory and I'm just going to stick to it.
All right, so Beta, that was our coverage of the ETF2L season preseason map cup. And before we get some people barreling in here, Frenchies, if you can hear me, if anybody can hear me, I want any players from these grand finals to just start barreling in it. So we want to hear about your feedback right here on the stream. Let's get like a little sort of echo chamber going here, see if we can talk it out. Nice. We've already got some gamers in. Very nice.
Yeah, we've got Olga, the man himself. Congratulations on winning this map cup. How was the cup to play for you guys?
Well, it was pretty unequal. Sadly, like there was no like really like basically prem teams doing the cup.
Oh, right.
And
so, Olga, you saying you just turned up today, picked up your paycheck. It felt like kicking kids in a playground as an adult. Like too easy.
Well, not really, because like there should be like more engaged team, I would say, that wants to try like new maps
Hmm.
because they're really interesting. Like, maybe I'll come to it like maybe after, but really good maps for.
I mean, so you obviously played Badlands Chugs just earlier. I mean, they were giving a bit of run for your money on Clear Cut, though. Like, maybe you can talk us through that map and like what you guys were thinking or adapting or feeling on that map.
Yeah, like you lost every single mid fight, right? So
Yeah.
what do you think that was?
Well, it's a really well, it's kind of like product basically from how it plays and stuff. But there's like more room to soldiers to especially go behind and jump the medic.
Hmm.
And also, what I really like about Clear Cut and also Bagel is that there's no like powerful sniper sideline, so you can't really run a sniper on this map.
Yeah, we didn't see a single sniper. Do you think map makers are a bit scared to put these sort of sniper sight lines in? Usually they quickly addressed. Is it just a dirty class to play on these sort of King of the Hill maps, or do you welcome that sort of thing, or do you think maybe
yeah.
we could invite maybe a sight line or two?
No, because like I think many people don't like product because playing against a sniper is basically frustrating because like if he hits everything, he just hits everything and he wins the map like by himself, basically.
All right, fair. Now, obviously this is a map cup. A lot of my questions are going to be very map orientated, so I hope you've got your notes ready
Yeah,
or you
sure.
got some your DMs
I got my
from your
notes.
teammates. Very nice. So let's start off with the map that you didn't play this evening, Villa. It's the
Yeah.
only CP map that we actually had in the map cup. What did you think of a map like Villa? Just opening thoughts.
Well, it's really sad because I think like at this exact instant, it's well, I would say unfinished. Like the reason I say this is because I think like just before the map cup we had a mix on this map, and the map was really messy. Like there was like 4 or 5 flanks every time. It was really messy. And the day right after that, they announced that they had a new version of the map, which was only like 3 flanks. One main entrance and 2 flanks. So it was kind of better. But I think like regarding the other 2, it's a bit unfinished and unpolished.
Fair enough. Was there any sort of set piece or particular thing you liked about the map? You're like, oh wow, this is actually quite unique. Maybe something like your prem eyes can see, but average plebs like myself don't notice.
Well, it's not a prem sight, I would say, but I think that's a bell. The bell rigging when you cap the mid is actually really fun.
Oh god, I still remember the other map cups where all I would hear is just going to mid, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, on propaganda especially.
So some people have said the middle feels too small. Do you agree with that?
The middle, too small.
Yeah, on CV Villa, is it too
How's
enclosed?
it joking? Like it's huge. It's fucking massive.
I think it's because he's talking about how enclosed it is. It's like almost like an arena. You know what I mean? Where there's walls everywhere. But
you don't think that's a problem?
No. Like it's huge. It's fucking massive. I don't think there's other bit bigger than that. Or maybe process, but
I was trying to think. What's that other map that we're playing in the ETF2L season right now? That's pretty big. Can't remember what it's called now.
Reckoner?
Yeah, that's a pretty big name.
Yeah, basically the map is maybe too big, I would say. Like when you look at the second, it's like a monstrous amount of nothing.
Yeah, like the second point, like the captain point itself seems like it's hidden away in the corner, right?
Yeah.
That's what it almost feels like. That's pretty weird.
Well,
also, I'd like to point out that it's really sad that the map had to be the decider both like in semifinals and finals. Because so there was like no games of, well, I would say quote marks high level on this map, which is really unfortunate, I think, for the map maker.
All right, okay, so basically what I'm getting the consensus of here, like Villa definitely the weakest of the bunch.
Yep.
Okay. Do you think it's the fact that it's just the only CP map we see? Is CP is like harder to balance, do you reckon?
I think it's not about that. It's more about, like, I mean, when I take a look at the other map cup that we did I think maybe 1 year or 2 years ago. There was like synthetic, which was like really unfinished, and there was like propaganda, which was cool, and also Cardinal was even better. So I don't think like it's 5CP, like a 5CP or mod thing, basically.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's put Villa aside here and let's head into that first map that you played this evening, Clear Cut. Now, you guys were obviously it was close. It was probably the closest map, or well, definitely the closest map of the evening. Do you think like that came down to the map, or do you think you guys were kind of papagering a bit or something into that map a bit? Or like, tell me about how the relationship between you guys and the map was in that first game.
Well, I can sum up by saying that on the first round, Glacier had 1 kill, and on the second, he had 11. So
yeah, he did figure out the maps. We were very impressed.
Yeah, it actually. I noticed something pretty interesting. I thought was that
the low damage.
Well, no, not that, but the way you used your Uber seemed to change as the map went on. Like you struggled in the first round, and then the second round, and maybe a little bit on from that, it seemed like you were very passive with your positioning, and then you made them Uber into you, and then you counter Ubered, caught up the medic, right? And then later on, you held super far forward and just Ubered into them as they were trying to push into mid. But was that intentional, or like why was that happening?
I think like what's really interesting about these two maps is that aggressive Uber especially are really powerful, and I think that's a really great point, like regarding like product, for example, which if you want to take a deep Uber in, sometimes you don't get what you want with it.
Right. So is that just because it has like the little bit longer lobby than Viaduct? Right? Viaduct
could be. Yeah.
It doesn't really have a lobby, right? But this does. So could that be why?
Well, I think not really sure to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint. But how about this? We noticed obviously the trend between both of these maps was just constant fighting. It felt like not too, maybe a bit more holds on Clear Cut compared to Bagel. But do you think like this was a sign of good gameplay? Like, do you like this sort of different change of pace where there's just constant fighting and there's
Obviously,
no real? Or would you actually prefer the more traditional sort of things that we've seen before, where there's a lot more like, quieter gameplay, or you got time to kind of think things out or do more chess-like movements? What do you think is the right way to look at this gameplay? Do you think of it as a positive thing or a negative thing?
Well, actually, I think my thought, and I came up with a map pool. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
Basically, I think like having King of the Hill maps in the map pool is really healthy, because like it encourages the aggressive gameplay. Basically, like you have no stalemates, you just run in, try to fight, try to catch some picks, etc. So yeah, I think the things that we have to do in ETF2L is having like a bit of King of the Hill maps. Like not only one, like it is, because the problem is that when it comes to playoff, if one team is just worse than the other on product, they can just ban product. Yeah. So having like 2 or 3 can be a really good idea, because every team has to change their way to play and play aggressive, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, I didn't really think about it like that, but. Getting a bit more into the King of Hill thing, obviously when you play these two maps, the other map that you can only compare it to, like you said, there's only one other product. Where do you think like a map for starters, like Clear Cut, stands with that map? Do you think it's a better map or a worse map or just different? What do you think?
Well, I personally really like product as myself, but I also like Clear Cut and Bagel. Thing is, I was playing Med, which is not traditionally my class on this map. But I think they were great. Cool.
That's I'm a little shocked. I thought you'd be like, no, don't like dying every 10 seconds, my boy. Like I would prefer another map.
So one thing we were talking about is that it seems like it's very, very difficult to control both of the flank on Bagel, and that can result in the medic getting flanked and killed a whole lot. Has that been a problem for you, or do you think it's too much?
Well, I was just playing bad, honestly. Like I got caught by the Ubers like I think 2 or 3 times. But I think like on Bagel especially, I've never seen like a that aggressive map. Like you can't play passive on this map. It's
Yeah.
just like constant fighting. Like the point caps in like 2 or 3 seconds. So it's really energetic, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked watching it. It was definitely different TF2, and I think I like the idea of a map pool like testing a lot of aspects of a team. So if you've got your defensive team, you know, like, oh, we like a bit more granary or your products or whatever, or stuff like that. Like, I think that's good, and you can probably get these more well-rounded sort of stylistic teams where they've got the little map pools and all that. But I mean, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. You keep like thinking your things and all this, but obviously, if we go from clear cut and talk a bit more about Bagel itself, as we've probably already dipped our toes a bit now, you can't, you know, look at these two maps and not compare the two. They're both King of the Hills, and they're both in this sort of map cup. Which one to you just felt like better?
I think that's a personal preference, but I really liked Clear Cut because it's not as aggressive as Bagel, and I think like teams, if we introduce Bagel in the map pool, teams will have to adapt like way more. And when I say way more, like it's like the non-TF2 that we know today.
It's just too much then. If you just want to just edge it in. I get you. All right. Is there any sort of suggestions maybe you would have for these map makers? Like any sort of bits that stood out to you? Like, boy, it would be really great if we got rid of that air pad or something like that.
No, the air pad is great. I really liked it. But I think maybe like the maps were really great. Don't get me wrong. And like especially like if I would say something to my makers, it will be like keep on. You're doing good work. But like on more precise note, maybe on Bagel, there's many things that where you get stuck in. It's really like a bit frustrating, I would say.
I get you. Clipping issues. Those little like bits that probably are there for decoration, but you end up just getting in the way. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So obviously it's a clear cut. Who's the winner in your eyes? It's clear cut. So
clear cut, yeah.
Do you think this is a sentiment held by your fellow player, or do you think there's a general consensus that you've heard from people that they like a particular map overall? Who do you think's won the popular vote?
Oh, the popular vote I think will go to Bagel, because it's played like in America. But well, it's sad because I think Clear Cut has a really good potential.
Is there? I mean, with every new map that ETF2L try, they have to do the tired old, I guess, attempt at convincing the community that they need to drop one of their favorite maps that they've been playing since like for 10 years now, and it's going to be really hard. But if you're an ETF2L admin, which map would you drop? Give them a head start.
Here's my map pool. Okay, I can't write in this channel, but basically it's you keep Process, iconic map. Like, I think no one will argue that it's a really great map. You keep Granary for the slow pace, which is really unique. You add Metalworks also. That's an interesting one.
Oh my god, that's something as a left field. I didn't think you'd bring out old maps and just get that in there. Bazillion, get that in there as well.
No, but I mean like Metalworks. I don't really get why we don't play it in EU, but I think having like maps in common with NA is a really good thing, like for the sake of the future and stuff. So you have Metalworks, you keep Gullywash, of course. You keep Snakewater. You keep Product, and then as a final map you had Clearcut. So in that result you have 2 King of the Hill maps. So teams has to adapt. Like they can't just ban King of the Hill maps in playoff. Just say whatever, we shit on this map, so just ban it like 7 style. So yeah, you have these 7 maps that are official maps almost. No, Clearcut's not an official, but it's played like on creators.tf servers.
So let me just to outline people that haven't caught wind, or maybe they don't know all the maps off by heart. So that means Badlands has been kicked out, and what was the other one?
Reckoner.
Now, are you a little bit sad? And like Reckoner feels like the new kid on the block, and he's only just joined the party, and now he's being kicked out. Like, is there anything particularly wrong with Reckoner that makes it a weak map?
No, not really. But I think like it doesn't add something to the TF2 we like. like regarding other maps. And also, I mean, for me, it's important that it has to be like an official maps. So
Why is that important?
I think it's important because, like, if you want to get new players involved in a competitive way, they have to rely on maps that they already know. So having a reckoner is like just confusing, basically. I think that's my personal opinion. But
Ooh, you're kind of shooting yourself in the argument though, because when you enter a map like Clear Cut, where they're like definitely never played a map like
yeah,
that, they're like,
but the thing is that clear cut might be added in the future. Like it has more chance because it's
I
added
see.
on the
I see what you mean.
creators.tf
It's new
servers.
on the radar of Valve. They
Yeah.
would be like, yes, this is an official map now. Yeah, you're right. It could be the case in all this.
Yeah, all right. So if I figured it out right, what you're saying is that you value having a varied map pool where different skills and playstyles are rewarded. So it's not, you can't just be good at one aspect, right? So like I think you kicked out Sunshine as well, right? Because that's kind of like process. Yep. Yeah, right. So in your opinion, like the fact that they're so similar is a detriment. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, that's correct.
All right. And another little question, Olga, is there such thing as like a perfect map pool, or would you like to have like a constant rotating map pool?
Oh yeah,
Like-
it could be rotating. Like I like to see like diversity basically.
Yeah.
Well, I like to have class also, and I think like having diverse map pool like every season, but like with maps that we all know, like not like maybe Lakeside or this kind of maps. Like they're really great, but we don't play it. I think it could be like a good diversity change that we can make to comp TF2.
Would you be in favor of? I mean, these were ideas me and Beta were kind of thinking about and talking about in the sort of periods between games. But would you be in favor of dropping just clearly very popular maps as a way of like taking turns? Like, okay, guys, we've played like a lot of Process throughout the years. Let's just keep it out for one season, introduce this map, and then play that for a little bit. Would you be down for that, or is there clearly like maps that we should keep at all times?
I think we should keep some maps at all time because like some maps are just so iconic. Like I mean, well, sadly I
Badlands?
don't like Badlands, but but I mean Color Wars, Blackwater, Process. Like these three has been in the map pool like for fucking years, like maybe a decade. So you can't just remove them, I think.
Yeah, it is interesting though that like that used to be what we said about Badlands, and then it
Yeah,
kind
and
of
then
slowly
one
faded
tiny
out.
change, one little change later, and suddenly everyone hates the map. Poor Badlands.
Oh yeah. All
Where
right.
were you, Olga, when Freight was around? Freight could have needed a friend.
I wasn't here.
Oh, right.
Lucky you. You'd still be trying to push last.
Yeah, where is the train when you need one?
Yeah, indeed. All right, so we've talked a little bit about accessibility for new players. So you had the hashtag say no to the pro map.
Oh no, we're getting into the controversial stuff.
let's
Let me.
hear
I like that.
All right,
I would just like to start this off
what's
by
your opinion
TFTV doesn't officially endorse or not endorse any sort of plugins from anybody right now. We are a neutral party. Okay, go ahead, Beta. This is the opinions of all the casters or players themselves.
Yeah, right. So what's your opinion on it? There's obviously different degrees of it. So you have the bug fixes, where like the ramp slide, the fixed fall damage, the sticky detonation bug. Those are probably pretty controversial.
I agree with that.
Yeah, right. Like those would just be added, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's also the medic doesn't get the scout speed, so that's been removed. And then there's also the gunbows always apply thing. So what are your opinions on those two?
Well, I think, like, from my personal opinion and my personal viewpoint, like, we always complain that, like, we're not a big comp scene. But the thing is that we have a lot of players on our game. And I think, like, making these changes can really harm, like, the new players trying to get involved in comp. Because if they play a game, which is not exactly the same game that they play in casual, the problem will be that maybe they won't like it. Like, and especially for medics, like if your survivability is even lower in comp when you start like comp, you will just get like shit on every game.
All right, so what's the counter argument to that would be that like competitive TF2 is already so different from pop TF2 that it doesn't really matter that there's like this tiny change because you're already completely thrown off by just how different it is. So, like, do you think there's any merit to that argument?
Well, it could be, but I think like I already know the problem is that, well, there's a first maps, like we play pro version of maps, which is not encouraging for the people that just know TF2 basically, and also why I mean the whitelist. It's a thing that, like, in my opinion, you should not like. Imagine like you have a pub engineer whose his thing it's the Thompson or things like that.
Right.
So he tries his best to make strategies out of it, and so he learns competitive TF2, and he learns that he cannot run this playstyle in TF2. That's like really sad, I think.
I mean, just to kind of mediate things as well. I feel like my personal stance on it is these sorts of changes didn't happen overnight, or they weren't kind of thrown in. They were kind of slowly melted and done over like years and years, and had reasons and stuff like that. Once upon a time, we had to play the game with crits on, and people kind of unanimously think like, okay, criticals is not good for competitive gameplay. They got a sort of little server-side plugin and they dealt with it and stuff like that. Do you think, like, looking back on a place, from that time period, would you still stick with the stance of, no, we should have kept criticals in because that's simulating, like, the pub experience and some people rely on that? Or is that just, like, completely different?
Well, I think, like, having, like, random things, obviously, in a game, is not, like, a good design. A really bad design and a really crappy design. So, like, just remove all the randomness that you can have in the game, and just then allow everything. Like, it's the developer fault if we have like random things like that. So they have to be the ones that fix these things.
All right. Do you want to hear the counter argument to that?
Oh boy.
Sure. So the counter argument to that could be that if you have a bunch of different unlocks, you never know what you're going to run into, where like you don't know what people have equipped before they actually use the weapon. So you can end up taking fights that feel like you're actually fighting random things. If you just had, like, just say the gunboats and the equalizer and like the very bare basics, you would always know what your opponent has equipped, and that would bring less randomness to the game. You'd kind of take complexity out of it, and that would reduce the randomness.
Well, I would say that there's ton of guides on TF2, and like many people that tries to help new players to learn the game. So obviously, like when you start and there's everything allowed, you will be like really, really confused, obviously, because there's so many weapons in TF2. Yeah. But like by the time goes on, well, some weapons are just better than the other. So you will see like a really tight pool of weapon. But the things that are strong, like will stay strong, and especially like I think for heavy, for sniper, for pyro, there will be things that are really strong on these classes, and so people could run these classes efficiently.
All right, well, so I'm liking the different sort of viewpoints from both of you. It feels like a nice little bonus discussion or debate at the end of our little map cup.
Yeah, it's fun.
As fun as it is as well to listen to you guys all night, we've all got families, we've got to go, and I know that these discussions.
Now we need to discuss the merit of
they're so
in this
big.
World.
Maybe
we're not done yet.
Maybe we'll get we've touched upon it a little bit on Fully Charged as well. We've got a forum as well if we want to keep up with the good fight for either side of the coin. So if you want to do any of that, you can head on over to teamfortress.tv where we'll facilitate that. But guys, let's start to round things up. Let's reel it back just a little bit. Let's go, just kind of end things out on our preseason map cup. And you've won the map cup here, Olga, today. So well done. I'm going to give you a chance to kind of, stand on your soapbox and tell me just like your closing thoughts of like what you would like from this like map pool? Like, if you want to talk to the ETF2L admins or maybe your fellow players, like, is there a certain map?
They're going to skip this entire conversation and only hear what you're going to say next. So
Yeah.
make it count.
Yeah, just kind of what would you want to say about this map cup overall?
Well, really great. Really good maps. Just add 2 King of the Hill in the map pool and add either Bagel or Clear Cut. They're really great maps, and I think people will love it.
All right, okay, excellent. Now we can end the stream. We can start rolling our hands together. We can now get our shout-outs done in order, and we're going to start with you, Olga. Obviously, you're the winner today. You get to go first. So is there anybody you just want to shout out to generally? Just like, hey, thank you, team, or anything like that?
Yeah, like shout-outs to you guys. Peter for the debate, TurboTabs, also ArchRhythm for the production. Shout out to the people that were watching. Shout out to the people that play the cup. Feels like there's not enough people that plays the cup. And well, obviously shout out to my team.
Very nice. Peter, you got any sort of closing words?
Yeah, play these map cup guys. It's really important. The higher the level, the better the feedback, and the more the more you're going to like the result, because ETF2L are going to make decisions based off of this, and like you're just going to end up complaining, and they were like, "Why didn't you do that earlier?"
Exactly. I like that you've done that, Peter. You've got the power in your hands, player. If you want to say like, "Why on earth did you add clear cut?" Well, you can play the map into the map cup, submit your feedback. It's a lot more weight to your words. But other than that, it's been absolutely great. A lovely time casting with Peter on this sort of thing. A lovely time interviewing with Olga as well, and a lovely time producing with ArchRhythm as well. A big shout out to Wandum and Dumtum as well for working behind the scenes and casting as well. A big shout out to all the teams, and the biggest shout out to Dernier per mois. That was an awful butchering, I'm sorry. But to the French team, that is walked away with the results. They took it away in a clear-cut map on clear-cut and Bagel as well, respectively. A big shout-out to Badlands Chugs for making it as far and making it a good match of it. I've been TurboTabs. Again, has been Olga in the interview, Beta on the co-cast, ArchRhythm on the production. This has been Team Fortress TV. Thank you very much, and thank you, ETF2L, for this preseason map cup. We'll see you next season.
Democrat.